what the deacon was saying earlier, the separation, the hardcore separation between Christianity and Judaism came later than the Gospels. Because I mean, that was a second century thing.
John was when it really was, when you start to see it within the Gospels.
And even that was written back into it, at least according to certain authors, where you have basically, you know, as an attempt to scripturally legitimize the present struggle, they write their present issue into a document purporting to talk about the past,
Right.
to saying, look, you know, Jesus had problems with the Jews,
Right.
you know, and we were being kicked out of the synagogues then, when actually it was happening now, and the now is the second century.
But what about in terms of the arguments of, you know,
Ben had his hand up, so I want to let Ben say something.
Right, also, the first heretic actually put to capital punishment very late in the game, 385, Priscillianus, a Spaniard. Part of his heresy was, in fact, that you had to study astrology for part of the ascent of the soul. And so, I mean, whether or not Mark glommed onto that very popular system, I can say at the very least 300 years later, other people certainly did.
And, you know, other people still use it now. I mean, it's part of the Golden Dawn, is, you know, working through the zodiacal signs. And so, I mean, this is a current within mysticism in general, especially the esoteric, learned sort of mysticism, as opposed to, you know, a more intuitive sort. So, I don't know. I mean, whether or not this is actually true, I'm not going to say. You know, I can see arguments for it, I can see arguments against it. It's quite possible that people who are interested in this sort of thing use the Gospel of Mark in this way, while other people used it in other ways. We know that the Church Fathers used the Gospel in various ways, so.
Does he treat it all the sort of taking it apart and looking at Q?
He does not mention,
there.
he does not mention Q. He takes the Gospels as finished works.
And on the actual Son, were you saying that there wasn't any kind of consensus among scholarship now about the link? Because I think it's pretty much, if it's not in literature, you certainly have it in ethnographical evidence. For example, the Sola Victus right underneath.
The criticism comes from certain mainstream Christian scholars, mostly on the Protestant end of things, rather than historians.
So
I don't know that a historian would go as far as Reverend Darlinson has gone in making these claims, but I don't think that they would necessarily discount them either. I mean, it's very much an interpretation of the text rather than a historical, you know, it's a drawing of correspondences rather than a historical work. I mean, this certainly doesn't meet up historical citations. He did actually go back to the Greek though, and, you know, he has his own translation of Mark in the back. So. Anything else? All right, then I'm gonna, go ahead. Okay. I was gonna take and turn it over to Ben then, who has a different lecture for us on Enochian magic.
Well, thank you very much to